A lot is going on in the job market, and some job market websites are becoming very suspicious. People are going on TikTok and calling out Indeed for their shady dealings. According to them, the Indeed website is harvesting job seekers' information and selling it out to a third-party company. They also said that the Indeed website is posting fake jobs.
There's this really crazy theory going on right now because Indeed and all these job search websites have thousands of jobs that say they're hiring, but everyone that's applying is not getting hired. And some guy actually did a test where they had hundreds of people fill out applications and no one hired them or even got a call back. And so the running theory is that they're using all people's data and selling it to bigger companies. So when you send all your information in, like your first name, your last name, where you're located, your resume, where you've been, they're taking that information and selling it to bigger companies and holding on to it because right now data is the new gold. And that's kind of scary. What do you think?
I'm not in any way confirming that what she said is true, and I wouldn't be shocked if that is what they are doing. Like she said, data is the real gold. Everyone wants the money. If you have an email address and you get spammy emails, weird emails from companies that you've never visited before, you've never been to their website, and you had no idea they ever existed, have you ever taken a moment to ask yourself how they got your email address? It's from people selling out your email address. It could be you visited a website for something else and your information was sold out to another company.
There's this really crazy theory going on right now.
Definitely go and watch her full video. What she's actually talking about is fake job ads on Indeed and things like that. And what they're doing is they're taking the information you put in there and they're stealing it and selling it. And just to show you, I'm going to show you some proof. So this right here is posted on Indeed's website. How to identify fake job postings, 10 warning signs. And if you go through and read through it, it actually shows this is a problem that they are dealing with, and she is 100% correct. They are stealing your information and they are selling it to major corporations.
So there's this theory going on right now with Indeed that they have all of these job listings and hundreds of people are applying to them and nobody's getting hired. So this guy did a test and applied to like 100 jobs and never got a call back. So the theory is that they're data mining. So they're listing all these jobs to get applicants, taking the data and selling it because data is gold these days. What are your thoughts?
Y'all are just now catching on to what's going on with Indeed because I've been peeped this since like last year. I was like, I feel like they have a bunch of fake jobs on here and that they might be doing business with some kind of AI company behind the scenes because I've been noticing the same jobs. Like Indeed now comes off like just weird. Like you see like the same jobs over and over. It's like a loop. And you can't really see a lot of new postings. Like it doesn't feel like an accurate reflection of the market because I'm somebody that always use Indeed because I always have more success on Indeed. Like I know people feel like LinkedIn is better for white collar jobs, but I really don't get a lot of success on LinkedIn. I always have more success on Indeed, so it's like my go-to. And for like the last year, it just hasn't been hitting. I just keep seeing the same old companies post the same old job openings, and I feel like if it's not a government job, it's probably not a real job or like a real opening. Like it might not even be a real company. People are starting to call out like all of these scam companies and like fake companies, people trying to affix you. Like Indeed been on that weird shit for a minute, and you know, it's just sad because again, it was one of the better like job apps, but I've been peeped. Indeed is up to something weird. And I started doing research on it last year, and other people were saying like when they signed up for Indeed, they started noticing a rise in like spam callers and like spam people reaching out. And I started to take note because when I got the job I have now, I shut my Indeed account down. And a few months later, got back on Indeed, kind of started looking, and sure enough, like here come the spam text, spam calls. You know what I'm saying? Like the rise in spam did correlate to me getting back on the app. So yeah, it's a bunch of like shady shit going on. Again, it's a lot of money laundering jobs up on there, a lot of fake marketing jobs, a lot of fake jobs, period. A lot of low pay. It's a lot of bullshit. So stay woke. Let's talk in the comments.
Let's talk about possible reasons why employers, companies will post fake jobs. They do that for so many reasons. Number one, it could be they want to build their resume database. They want to harvest data and sell it. They want to make people think and believe that their company is growing. It could be because they're trying to spy on their competitors. It could also be them trying to fulfill internal policies or meet some legal requirements. Some companies are mandated to post jobs even when they don't truly need anyone, even when they don't want to employ anyone. It's just part of their policy. They might also be doing that for research purposes. There are many more reasons why companies, individuals make fake job posting.
I got fired from my second job because I wouldn't post a ghost job. So let me explain what I do for my second job, what I did for my second job. I was a hiring manager. I usually just post job listings sometimes on Indeed or other job listing websites for my company. I'm not going to explain what company that is because I can't do that. But I am going to talk about what I can talk about because I read through my NDA. I used to post ghost jobs, which are fake jobs to encourage our current employees to work harder. These jobs will be fake jobs, so you can apply for the listing, but not actually get hired. They're called ghost jobs. You're probably wondering, I applied for all these places. Why am I not getting callbacks? You might have applied for a ghost job, which isn't a real job. It's just put there to show that we're looking for new hires at higher rates to get our current employees to work harder, as an incentive to make them work harder, as opposed to increasing the base pay or the base rate. And I've made maybe 300 ghost job listings. I've made a lot. I've made so many. It's insane. And what messes me up is that they're still doing it. And I got into a little bit of a scuffle, a fracas, one might say, with my previous hire manager. My hire manager said, hey, you stopped posting ghost job listings. What's going on, buddy? It's really working. It's helping our team morale. I said, listen, this is the first time I've ever said this in my life. I don't feel good about doing this. This might be the first time I've ever said that. Usually I have like no moral, no ethics about anything. I just didn't feel good at all about doing it, despite the fact that I was getting a massive bag from it. And he said, well, we need somebody to do it. And you're the best we've got. I'm not going to continue to post ghost job listings so our employees can act like they are scared to lose their jobs. That ruins their mental. It destroys their mental health deeply. And he said, that's HR's job, not ours. So I'm talking to him and I'm arguing, and at this point, he's shouting, I'm calm. So I'm thinking I can take it to HR, and he says, we're probably going to have to talk about this later, but you should clock out for the day. I said, I don't want to clock out for the day because we're not done talking about the specific issue. This is insane. This is psychotic. So I go cool off. I talk to my friends in the Discord. We're cooling off. We're talking about it. Another one of my friends does the same job as I do. He also posts ghost jobs. And it's disgusting. It's not just my company. It is every company I'm seeing doing this. It's Walmart doing this. It's Amazon doing this. I'm not going to disclose my company, but it's Best Buy doing this. They're posting these fake job listings to trick you into thinking, oh, well, they're hiring a bunch of other things, or because just in case you're looking to move to a new job or talk about needing a pay raise, and they'll post a new job at a higher rate. Say you got hired in at $17 an hour. They'll post a ghost job at $22 an hour. And if you try to apply for that, they'll clock you for that. If you try to apply for that, they'll clock you for that, and they'll know it's you because they got your social security number, you applying for the job. It is a disgusting business practice. Because as soon as you apply to get a higher position or anything like that, they'll talk to you about it. And they'll ask you, why do you want a higher position? Do you want more pay? Are you dedicated to the company? They'll give you a performance review. They'll check everything about you just to see. I recommend, this is my honest opinion, this is my honest recommendation, doing the bare minimum at jobs. Bare minimum. I mean, bare minimum at jobs. Just coast. Just coast by doing the bare minimum at jobs. Don't try to do anything extra or crazy. Just coast by doing the bare minimum at jobs. I'm so serious. Because I didn't know this was so much of it. I thought it was just my job doing this. I thought we were like the monopoly on doing this. That's what I thought. But I'm applying to other jobs. I'm applying to other places, and I'm noticing the ghost jobs. I'm noticing that there are many of them. There are so many ghost jobs that are just fake. They're just fake jobs. I am sickened. I'm disheartened. I'm disgusted. I'm angry because I don't have my second job anymore, by the way. It was a small job. I worked 20 hours a week just doing the analytics and the hiring for a company. That's all I did. But I still work at Amazon. But man, I'm just sickened. Amazon doesn't care about what I post, by the way. They're fine with me doing whatever. Amazon doesn't check anything I do. They don't care about me at all. But man, this is stupid. This is weird. Look up ghost jobs. Just look them up.
I've had several people ask me about these various studies that are saying that 1 in 5 job postings are actually fake. I've seen references to studies from Greenhouse, which is one of the biggest applicant tracking systems, saying that 18 to 22% of the jobs posted on their platform are classified as ghost job. Resume Builder claims that 39% of hiring managers say that they posted a fake job listing. And some of the reasons cited for why companies might be doing this include trying to signal that they're growing even if they're not, and that they want to keep their employees on edge to make them feel replaceable. Now, if you're a hiring manager posting fake jobs to try to get your employees to work harder or to be scared, you should just stop doing that now. That is a terrible idea. But personally, I can only speak from my own experience, and this isn't something I've ever done, and this isn't something I've been asked to do. I suspect this is probably most common in companies where there are not strong HR practices, because anywhere I've worked, you have to go through a lot of hoops just to be able to get approval to post a job. The job and the budget for that job have to be approved before you're able to post a job. But that doesn't mean that every job I've posted has actually been hired for. Sometimes in the process of hiring for a role, you realize that what you actually want is different than what you posted for. So you might take the posting down, rethink things, and then go back to the drawing board. I would also be curious how many times they hire for jobs that were never posted. Because sometimes what we'll do is post a job, get a pipeline, and then hire into some roles that weren't actually posted. For example, if you're going to hire high volume of a certain position, you might post a single job that you're going to leave up for a long time to build a pipeline for that role. And then you're going to have lots of openings behind the scenes that you never actually post, but you are going to fill from that pipeline. That's actually a pretty common practice I've seen lots of times when you're doing more high volume hiring. Sometimes this could also be a process thing. For example, I've seen cases where you end up deciding to hire someone internally. And so rather than hiring them into that job posting, you might just change their title in the system and then go ahead and post their backfill instead. So in a case like that, there were actually 2 job postings for only 1 job that was filled externally, but both positions were actually filled. I have a feeling some of that 18 to 22% that Greenhouse is reporting is tied to those kinds of behaviors. Again, I'll reiterate that if this is something that managers and companies claim they're doing, I can't refute that. I can only say that I have not worked in a place where that was a common or intentional practice. And I will say that if this is how a company is operating, you're probably dodging a bullet, not getting hired there.
An employer legally posts fake jobs online that they have no intention to actually fill. While this isn't necessarily legal or illegal, it does create a perception of misrepresentation or deceit. Employers often post about these ghost jobs in an effort to increase the company growth, to show that the company is larger than it is, to save a resume for later when they actually need to fill a position, or to put a fire under their own employees to try to increase productivity. Whatever the reason is, it isn't necessarily beneficial for the employer after all, because it can lead to trust issues with applicants.
Posting fake job is not the only problem Indeed is having. Indeed has been accused of scamming people. They've been accused of kidnapping people, kidnapping applicants. There's so many stories out there of applicants that went for interview and no one could hear from them anymore. Some were found dead. Yeah, there's a particular story about 17 people that got missing. They went for a job interview, a job they found on Indeed. Let's have a look.
It's for my job seekers that ain't got no job and y'all trying to get a job. Don't scroll. Let me talk to you right quick about your homeboy Indeed.com. Nah, I just want to put awareness out there. My husband had applied for this job that he got many experience in. Many years of experience, I'm sorry. He applied for the job, right? Why was the interview at Starbucks? So he gonna have the interview at Starbucks. The man conducted the interview, right? But he not having an interview with him. The man pulls out a cell phone, flips it over, and let my husband look at it to talk to 2 other guys for a job interview on Zoom. My husband couldn't do that from home, maybe? I don't know. But it was weird. So my husband had an interview with 2 people on this other guy's cell phone. And so they kind of immediately hired my husband. Ding-a-ling-ling-ling-ling-ling, right? So, my husband, he all right, cool. So In the same day, they wanted him to do some kind of training. In the same day? But the man wasn't there to do that training for them. So my husband had to go back out there to do the training. Mind you, my husband ain't did any other thing for hiring requirements, right? So the people tell him, yeah, we're going to send you some emails. You're going to have to fill out, you got to take some drug tests. You know, the regular hire shit, right? Regular requirements, right? Peep this. So we sitting at home and stuff. My husband waiting on emails. They just keep asking my husband the same over and over and over again. You want to know what they keep asking him? If you guessed it, then you're right. His social security number. And they keep asking him in different types of forms to fill out, right? But it's still asking for that social security number.
Y'all definitely got to be careful on Indeed. So I had a friend just tell me the story of a woman who, she put in some applications on Indeed or whatever, just do it. She applies to this call center, or so she thought. So she applies, she gets the interview, good. Now they send her the location. This is where things get a little bit iffy. The location is some warehouse. She still has the number that contacted her. She calls to confirm that this is the address. She walks in. She sits down and waits for her interview. There's a man who comes from the back room and he approaches her and says, "Hey, I'm such and such. We've been texting. Come for your interview. Come to the back." She goes in this back room with this man. I'm gonna just cut the chase. The next day she was reported missing. 2 months later, they find her in the woods. You know what? Y'all, be careful. Stay dangerous. Be very mindful of Indeed. The scams are so ridiculous. But not only are they scams, there are unimaginable evils waiting for the opportunity. Allegedly, almost 24 people have went missing after setting up interviews on Indeed and going to them. And I just have something to say. When it comes to these Indeed interviews, please verify the job, verify the location, call, Google, do whatever you have to do. Another thing, this is another common scam on Indeed right now because it happened to me literally. They basically send you a fake check. The check could be for equipment. Mine was for equipment. They sent me a $3,000 check in my name and told me to deposit into my bank and then give them a call. And the number for this so-called job was so shady. It was so shady. I didn't deposit the check into my bank account, but a friend of mine did it for me. I just wrote it off in her name. She ends up depositing the check into her bank account. As soon as the money hit her account, they wiped it. So she was $3,000 in debt. She disputed it, of course, but Indeed is extremely dangerous and nobody's doing anything about it. And it's beyond me for some reason. How is Indeed still operating? Well, not Indeed, it's the platform itself, but people who use Indeed to scam people and other malicious actions.
Come in for an interview. The interview was at a warehouse at around 7 p.m. And immediately after going into the interview, they stopped responding to calls and texts and were soon reported missing and never seen again. Now, after doing some research, I haven't seen any credible news sources on this, nothing from Atlanta PD, but after hearing this story, many people came out with their own horror stories from Indeed. Like this woman who said she went in for an interview at a cow farm where there was no one there. She felt like she was being watched and immediately left. Or like this woman who said she went in for an interview and all she saw was a few men sitting in a fenced-in parking lot in a white van, got uncomfortable and left. Or like this woman who said she had an interview at an apartment at 11 p.m. and was told to knock. Now, that first story has yet to be confirmed, but people are using this as a chance to raise awareness because things like this do happen, and it's important to always do your research because if something seems too good to be true, it probably is. Let me know what you guys think about this and if you've had any type of similar experience applying to jobs, and as always, I'll keep you guys updated.
Honestly, I don't know what the job listing requirement is on the Indeed platform. I don't know if they actually screen the people that do the job listing there. But from everything that is going on and what people are saying, Indeed needs to do better. Indeed needs to tighten up. That is, if all these accusations, all these things happening are not coming from them? There are so many ways they can cop this and regain their integrity. That is, if they're interested in doing that. I know we've got bad eggs everywhere. We've got scammers on different platforms. But if you have a platform, it is your responsibility to protect the users of that platform. And if the users of the platform have complained about something over and over again, it is your job to see to it, to make sure that thing they are complaining about does not repeat itself. But if they are complaining and you don't care, don't blame the people when they start accusing you and start assuming that you are part of the people perpetrating the crime. My heart goes out to the people that have lost their lives, the families of the people that have lost their lives in the process of finding a job. And I do wish everyone well, everyone out there seeking for a job. I wish you all well. And please be careful. Safety above everything. You need to be alive to have a job. You can't risk your life, lose your life because you want a job. If you're gone, someone else is going to get that job. So your life above everything. Protect yourself and be careful.